It's all about my father. Cue the photograph montage. Photograph by Nickelback was supposed to play here, but we got a cease and desist letter from Chad Kroeger. That's him there in high school. My dad, not Chad Kroeger. That's my grandpa, my dad's dad, who is also his teacher and coach. My dad taught at middle school for a bit, but it wasn't for him. I also went down a similar career path at first before changing directions. We're very similar and very different in many ways. Many of my mannerisms, including my loud laugh, come from him. Both him and my brother, though, are, how do I put this, better rule followers than me. A bit more type A and hold more traditional values when it comes to Christian beliefs. Both are some of the kindest people I know, but they tend to approach things a bit differently. For example, they're a bit more direct, goal-oriented, and tackle issues head-on. I'm more of a rapport-building, feelings-driven, and seeks understanding type of guy. I get that from my mother. Now that my dad is retired, my brother's in Birmingham, Alabama, becoming a pastor, and we've talked about doing a road trip together to go visit him. This is what happened. Right out the gate, my dad had a million things he wanted to say. My dad's a pretty quiet guy in general, but once you get to know him, he will talk your ear off. I'm sort of the same way. We stopped in Tyler, Texas for some BBQ. I did the old, I'm just taking a photo trick here. My dad doesn't mess around when it comes to barbecue, as in he has high standards. You tell him the iconic Franklin or Black's Barbecue from Austin, Texas is your favorite, he'll politely say, that's interesting. Translation, what a tragedy. We finally made it to Jackson, found the only place open until 9 p.m., Halls and Malls. Needless to say, we were pretty tired at this point and crashed at our Holiday Inn that my father picked out. After a restful night of snoring, we had the famous one-of-a-kind, all-you-can-eat Holiday Inn breakfast. Yes, I'm hating. We could have eaten at a beautiful Waffle House across the street from us, but beggars can't be choosers. Past 50 of these bad boys on our trip.
Playing the guitar soon?
Yeah, I thought we were going to do it in the hotel, but those walls were paper thin.
Went to the local Civil Rights Museum. It flooded me with emotions. I had to sit down between sections. It makes you realize how important it is we preserve this history. My dad was born in 1966 while a lot of this was happening, and he read every little detail within the museum. I often lost him at times. I'm very much the same way when it comes to museums, as I like to wander on my own, trying to take in everything all at once. Then we went to the Big Red Apple Inn, where I convinced my father to try one of their famous pig ear sandwiches. This is the face of someone pretending to like a sandwich. Everywhere we went, they had these Comic-Con posters to bring business into the city.
Very quiet town, huh?
It's like we're in a zombie apocalypse movie.
Stopped at Coffee Pros in Jackson. Sometimes life is full of choices and it can feel a bit overwhelming. Sometimes you just need to talk about things over a cup of coffee.
I was saying, sitting across from this college here, this really nice college, Millsap College. I remember when you went to college the first time and we were just talking about that. I said maybe it would have been better if you took like a gap year at the beginning, like traveling for a little bit, like with an organization, like a Christian organization or something, and then going to college.
Would you have done an organization that wasn't a Christian organization?
Maybe,
Score?
like a government one.
Okay.
And it's escaping me.
Yeah.
The one that Kennedy set up.
I was thinking Peace Corps.
Peace Corps, yeah, that's the one I was thinking.
Okay.
Peace Corps, yeah.
Got you. But everything turned out all right?
Pretty much. Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I think things turned out right. You're a rocky road sometimes. Sometimes wondering what's going on. But you can see God's hand in the situations. Even if it's a situation you chose and messed up. Yeah, he works it to the good, You don't realize it in the time. But then looking back on it, you see, oh yeah, God was there with me, walking with me at the time.
And now it's time for drugs. We're talking the hard stuff, Mucinex, Fishman cough drops, Robitussin, because my dad's voice was pretty shot at this point, just in time to watch some hockey. The Birmingham Bulls are the minor league hockey team around these parts. Fans were rowdy with their cowbells. It was a close game and went into overtime. I screamed my head off. It was a funny way to end a long day. The next morning, we would be getting up to do our holy duties.
What did we do yesterday? We went to church, basically, and saw Ben in action. He was doing the liturgy and everything. And then afterwards, we had a little tour of the church. And then we went out. We came back here. I took a nap while you and your brother hung out and did something bad on the patio here with smoke. Smoking will kill you. Or make your life miserable like you did your grandfather. But,
My dad's right. My grandfather lived until 90 before he passed away from lung cancer. Cue the photo montage of my grandpa. He was a good man and supported his family in the good times and the bad times, and in the times of awkward 80s family photos. When he was little, he lost his father in a car accident. He met my grandmother while they were both becoming teachers. Though his true love was coaching and bending your ear about baseball, he was a family man and held on to strong Christian traditional family values. My brother followed closely in his footsteps. I figured his definition of what it means to be a man wasn't far from my grandfather's.
What do you think Jesus would say? Like, kind of makes a man a man.
You'd say, deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. That's what you'd say about that.
How do you feel like you had to live up to a certain set of expectations that Dad said or Grandpa said anyway, or no?
What do you mean?
Just like, do you feel like any burden to kind of like prove yourself, I guess, or feel like any pressure, like to do certain things a certain way?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think about the ministry of my church and the people I've been blessed to work with, and really it's just trying our best to follow after the example of grace and love Jesus set, and we're not always going to do our best in that pursuit. We're going to fail, but we try to do our best.
Sometimes when you fail, you can challenge the gods like Vulcan did after falling from Olympus. But whenever I'm feeling out of sync, 9 times out of 10, I need something to eat. I went to Johnny's, a meat and 3 restaurant, something I've never heard of even though I've lived in the South my whole life. Found a community theater that was showing the Oscars that night for free, but I'll let my father take it from here.
I took a nap, and then we went and saw the Oscars at an Oscar party viewing downtown Birmingham, and came back here, and it was around 10:30.
Around 8.
No, it was 8.
It was 8 o'clock we left.
Well, we left at 8, but we got back here around 9-ish or so.
Yeah.
And then we watched a little more, and then we went to bed around 10:30. So it wasn't too bad. Yeah.
Good.
So, you never know the treasures you might find in an antique store. We went thrifting. Yeah. Did you find anything? I can't remember.
No, I didn't.
Ben found stuff though. He found like 2 shirts and what else did he buy?
Some sheet music.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sheet music. Where's the sheet music at? Oh, I don't know where he put it. It's like hymns and something by Bach, I believe. But yeah, it was fun to go around Birmingham that way and look at stuff. Yeah, we went to a hot dog place called Gus's, which has been around since the 20s, I think. 1920s. And that was kind of neat to do. And that was downtown Birmingham. Downtown Birmingham's an interesting place. They have a lot of potential. A lot of buildings were closed, but there was a lot of like, cute little things like that. Theater was down there.
It's strange how something so heavy can exist alongside moments like this. Every time I see my brother, he makes it a point to go to a tiki bar. This time we went to Tukani Tiki, which is in this redeveloped urban area downtown that gets a lot of business from local college kids. It was his first time going to a lot of these local spots and his first time downtown in general. While drinking, the movie The Exorcist came up since my brother's going to seminary in St. Louis, where the story is partially based. He said the Lutheran Church was originally called to perform the exorcism, but when they tried giving the sacraments to the child, the wine chalice and the bread moved on the table, so they handed it off to the Catholic Church. He also recommended listening to a seminary lecture his friend recorded that goes into more detail, which I'll link in the description below. At the end of the day, we went back to my brother's place. I played a guitar a bit with my dad, one of the many hobbies he's taken up in retirement. He had a bunch of sheet music laid out and wasn't a fan of the tempo I played Buddy Holly's every day in. Let's just say I play music at my own tempo and variation. And it's okay if my brother and father aren't fans, or anyone for that matter. It would be absurd to expect that.
All right.
The next day, we woke up refreshed and unpossessed, ready to play some disc golf. My dad's really got into disc golf in his retirement, but we're all amateurs though, really. Luckily, we had the whole park to ourselves. We just played for fun. There wasn't any score being kept, which is fine. No sense in taking disc golf too seriously. I tried to convince both my brother and my father to play the day before when it snowed, oddly enough, for an hour. This idea was shut down pretty fast.
We were gonna go frisbee disking today, but nope.
I think we could still go later.
I don't think it would be fun.
We did see remnants of the snow when we ran into a snowman on the course the next day though. We played all 18 holes without losing any discs, and by the time we got to the last hole, it felt like we were all sort of getting the hang of it. I'm glad we stuck with the course even though when we arrived, we initially talked about driving further to a nicer course. After we left the park, we went to have some St. Paddy's Day drinks at the local Irish pub. There's my brother repping the seminary hat with a Bud Light. Green beer and Guinness came later. It was the most amount of people I saw at any place during the whole trip. As a fellow musician, my brother roasted the band playing here. He's more of a piano guy though. All art's subjective, no one's perfect. But you don't perform to be perfect in my opinion. You play it because you love it. I will say though, my brother is one of the most talented musicians I have met. The last place we went to that day was the Saturn. It is home to a hidden art community in Birmingham, but is mainly used as a concert venue. They also show movies. Tonight it was the campy 70s classic, The Blob. They had some quirky drinks you could have while playing old video games before the show. The overall atmosphere made me feel like a kid going to the movies for the first time. On the drive back, I asked my dad what his experience was being a new father.
When you have kids, your whole perspective changes. You realize, things you thought that were important really aren't that important, and everything focuses on taking care of your kids and taking care of your family, and you realize there are things in this life that are more precious than a good job or a lot of money or something like that, or being successful in what you do. I mean, you want to be successful for your kids.
Next day, we said goodbye to my brother and headed to Shreveport, Louisiana. I found the quirkiest Airbnb I could find, which is an old fire tower, also used for resident artists. I'll throw up some of their artwork that was in the fire tower with a view of Shreveport. Unfortunately, like many places we stayed, crime in Shreveport is higher than the US average, and about 21,000 residents have moved out from 2010 to 2022. It was only after I learned we were staying behind a boarded up Zionist temple in a Providence House, a non-profit organization that provides homeless transitional housing, education, and childcare, and so much more. I'll link them in the description below as well. The Art Residence Fire Tower is just a small part of Shreveport's larger common public art program, whose goal is to transform the historic 9-block area into a vibrant cultural district through both permanent and temporary artistic installations. Anyways, I'll stop ranting and let my road-legged father describe the fire tower.
what did you call that? Air button?
Oh, for the Airbnb?
Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we found it. We stayed in an old, what was it? A
Firehouse
tower.
Mm-hmm.
Had 5 levels. The first level was a bedroom. Second level was a bathroom. Third level, kitchen. Fourth, what was it? Did I go to?
Are you going up or down?
Level was a bedroom. Fourth level was the bathroom. Third level was the kitchen. Second level was the living room, TV area, couch.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last level was like the downstairs with the second bathroom.
Yeah. What did you think of the Blind Tiger though?
I liked it. I liked the food a lot. I mean, and the what did we call it? The ambiance, the decorations were very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very New Orleans type of Louisiana decorations. The food was great. I was really surprised how good the food was. I liked it. I haven't had a muffaletta sandwich in a long time. We got in there, we were only customers in there, really. There was another old guy in there, but we figured out from the pictures on the wall, he was the original owner, sitting around just talking with, I believe, his daughters who are running the place now, and his son, who was a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a younger picture of him on the wall in his clerical collar.
Yeah, like Ben.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think of Dad as being a dad?
He's been a great dad. You know, he's worked hard and sacrificed in every way he could. He's been a great husband to our mother and a great father to us, and I think he's a great role model to live up to.
You ever done that? Now you're on camera. You're peed on the side of the road.
Never.
Okay. Sure.
I'll hold it till my bladder bursts.
The road trip with my father was coming to an end, and I was giving him a hard time for not wanting to initially go through New Orleans. But in the end, I'm grateful that we got to visit some new places. I think growing up, every son seeks their father's approval in some way. In some weird way, I do it even though I'm 28 years old. I've always felt a lot of pressure to prove myself. I had a lot of self-doubt on this trip. And I often question what I'm currently doing career-wise. But then there's moments while traveling that seeking approval from others is tiresome. I realize my so-called problems aren't anything compared to what a lot of people are going through. That I'm lucky in a lot of ways. That there's more to life than just a job. There's family. There's community everywhere you look. There's a lot unknown. I believe it's important to reflect on the past, but you can't spend your whole life looking back. Truth is, the way I am, I could have any job and start looking for the next thing. I don't think purpose is just one thing. Whether it's having a kid, finding a spiritual calling, eating a pig ear sandwich. I believe you find purpose in a multitude of ways. Through art, music, community, relationships, mentorships, achieving goals, religion, nature, or by traveling. Crossing the Mississippi River, it's hard not to think of a quote by Mark Twain that goes, "Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness." I know this quote because Mark Twain is one of my dad's favorite authors. My dad also likes to say Mark Twain thought all pastors were hypocrites, which is why he didn't go to church. And then my dad would go on to continue to say, "This isn't fair though, because we're all human and hypocritical at times, even Twain." I believe these hypocritical flaws or vices, whatever you want to call them, are still an important part of us and are what make us human. Not addressing these things or constantly chasing approval or perfection is a waste of time. Life's too short to worry about that. It's also too long to wait, which is why I will continue to work on creative projects like this and spend time with those I care about the most. I owe a lot to my dad for everything both he and my mother had to sacrifice for me and my brother. If I can be half the man he is, I'll be fine. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll be a father myself. Right. You just had it, you just demolished it. What do you think?
I think it was great. I think the s'mores cookie was one of the best things I've had in a while. And the brisket sandwich was huge. And it tasted really good.
What would you rate it out of 10?
8.5.
Ooh, I like it.
All right.
All right.